What's up, everybody, and thank you for listening to Mastering the Mindset. My name is Dariusdotch, and I'm an actor, hip-hop artist, and fitness and life coach. And I'm here to personally help you train and improve your mindset so that you can, 1, become the best version of yourself mentally, and 2, gain focus and motivation to be able to take action and achieve the success in life that you want and deserve. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and at the end of this episode, if you liked it, please share it with a friend or a loved one or someone who would benefit from hearing this message. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm ready to go on this journey with you, and that journey begins now. All right, and welcome back to another episode. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. I'm not going to be giving you any research. I'm just going to talk to you straight, tell you a bunch of things that you just might need to hear today. And like I always say, I think it's an important topic to discuss, so I'm excited to give you this one as well. So let's talk about leaving the past in the past. We're going to talk about how to move on and let things that happen to you go. And the first thing I'm going to say, and I know I'm going to sound like Captain Obvious again, but you can't do anything about your past. And we all know this, but the crazy part is, well, not the crazy part, but the interesting and intriguing thing about this is we know this, but we still don't let things go sometimes. For some reason, we just don't let it go, and we carry this weight around with us forever. And I'm damn sure guilty of that. We say, this person did this thing to me in the past, or that person treated me like this back then, and I'm still mad about it. And we know that it's over. It happened. No matter how hard you try, there is literally nothing you can do that's going to make it unhappen. So why is it so hard to let go? Well, first, let's talk about you and who you are. No matter the situation, no matter what happened to you, no matter what you did wrong, you did your best with what you could do at the time. You did the best you can do with the tools you had. Everybody around you, everything that happened to you or because of you, everybody did the best they could with the tools they had. And that might be hard to agree with, but if you really think about this, everybody, especially you, did the best they could with the tools they had. In that moment, if you could have done better, you would have done better. In that moment, even if you know or if you knew that what you were doing was wrong, even if the person who wronged you knew that what they were doing to you was wrong in that moment, you were still only working with the tools you had and only did the best you could do because that's all you could do. So if that means that your best in that moment was disappointing, then your best at that moment was disappointing, but it's what you had. Same thing for everybody. Your parents did the best they could. Your parents might have made your childhood a horrible experience for you. They didn't do that because they wanted to ruin your childhood. No, they did it because that was the best they could do with what they had. They didn't conceive you and say, you know what? Let's ruin this child's childhood. Let's be bad parents and set them up for failure. No. So whatever it is you still mad about, whatever somebody did to you in the past, they did the best they could do with the tools and the knowledge and the understanding that they had in that moment. But we still wish that it would have been different, right? Of course we do. And we can't let it go because we feel like it didn't work out the way it should have. And there's this entrepreneur I follow who's also a life coach, and he says that we should all over ourselves. We should all over ourselves. It should have been different. It should have happened this way. It should have happened that way. I should have said this instead. They should have did this for me. And there's a phrase I love. It says that what happened, happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. Meaning, if it was able to have happened another way, it would have happened another way. It happened the way it happened because that's what it was meant to do. Now, think about all the bad things that happened to you in your life. Let's think about all the BS we've been through, the things that happened to us, all the bad things from the past, some of your hardest, toughest moments. Now, conjuring up those moments is not fun. I get it. Like for me, one of the hardest moments of my life, and I talk about it a lot on here, was when I was arrested for DWI and I was in jail for a few days from Saturday to Tuesday, had no cellmate, in a cell for 23 hours a day, nobody to talk to, just me and my thoughts and the decision I made to drink and drive. And since I was in jail over the weekend, I lost my job because I had shifts I couldn't make. And dealing with knowing that I lost my job, and I was recently out of a relationship with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and sitting in that cell, I was really missing her because I needed to feel love in that moment. I needed to feel some kind of support from a significant other, but I didn't have it. And sitting in that cell, like I said, for 23 hours a day, no window, in a 5x9 box, man. And it was only 3 days before I got to see a judge and get released, but that was a really low moment for me. I can't imagine what solitary confinement is like. Those 3 days really messed with me mentally. And the next couple of years, I spent recovering from that, working temp labor jobs, showing up at 6 a.m, hoping to get sent out on the job, eating bologna sandwiches for lunch because that's all I could afford. Then getting a job I hated, working for a collection agency on the phone, having to catch the bus at 5:30 in the morning and not getting home till after 6 p.m. Those were some hard times. And I won't even talk about my mama passing away when I was 15. And I didn't enjoy any of that. And I know you have things that you can think of that were some rough and hard times in your life too. And I can honestly say that me, here right now, in this moment in 2023, yes, that was all very hard, but I learned so much from it. And if I didn't go through those things I went through, I don't think I would have the drive I have now. I wouldn't be as hungry. Now, there's nothing you would be able to pay me to have the things I went through be any different. It's hard when you go through those times, but you know that it truly made you who you are. It made you that beautiful person who you are today. Wisdom doesn't come from reading books and learning and classes. Wisdom comes from life events, those events that shaped and molded you. You'll never see somebody who's never been through some crazy life event, somebody who's never went through any kind of hardship, be this super wise person. That person just doesn't exist. The people who do the most amazing things in the world have been through some things. They've seen some things in life. A smooth sea doesn't make a skilled sailor. I forgot where I heard that from, but I like it. If you want to be able to consider yourself a strong person, then you have to understand that you have to go through challenges. You have to be broken at some point. Don't look at the past and wish it was different. Appreciate what you learned from it. Appreciate how you see things differently, because life is a marathon, right? And if you were to start this marathon, would you put on a 50-pound bag and try to run it? No. So why do that in real life? It's time for us to put down that weight because life needs you to. Put down that anger, the guilt, the shame you have about your past, about the things you did wrong or wish you did different, or about things that other folks did to you that was wrong. You still won't forgive them. You still won't let it go. You're still carrying it around with you, and this marathon is way more hard because of it. Another phrase I like that I just came across the other day is, those mountains that you carry, you were only meant to climb. Think about that for a second. Those mountains that you carry, you were only meant to climb. How many mountains did you have to climb that you still carry around with you to this day? And the question is, why can't you put it down? A lot of times we take what happened to us in the past and we attach it to our identity. We say, I'm the son of an alcoholic father. I'm a woman who's been broken by a man I loved. I'm a man whose childhood scarred me. Or I had this happen to me, or that happened to me. Yes, these things did happen to you, but that doesn't make you who you are. Like your job. If I asked you what your job was and you tell me you were a sales associate, that ain't who you are. That's just something you do on a daily basis. That doesn't define you. And we have to know the difference and look at life the same way. Why would you allow your joy to be stolen every day by being stuck in the past? That's choosing to allow yourself to be pissed off. That's choosing to allow yourself to feel that anger and resentment towards something. That's choosing to put yourself in those negative emotions, to feel that guilt, and let all these things control your life when they've already happened and there's nothing you can do to change it. Don't torture yourself, and don't keep playing the victim. Things happen in life. Things happen to people. I'm not saying that your stuff ain't as hard as my stuff and vice versa, but we go through things and we have to learn from it. to get stronger from it, to grow from it, and succeed and be better because of it and in spite of it.
And to also let you know that this
You have to get up,
is 100%
dust yourself
donation
off,
driven,
and keep it
which
moving.
means it's completely
You have to
funded by
learn
you,
to let
the
go.
listener.
Those things that
So,
happened in the past,
if you like the
3,
content I have
5,
to offer, I would
10
love
years
if you
ago,
can make a donation, and
it's
you
time.
get to pick the amount.
You have to
I
take a
left
deep
links
breath
in the
and let
description
it
of
go.
the video, as well as
Let
my
go of that
homepage.
mistake,
You can
of
choose
that
which
event,
way
that
benefits you
experience,
the
and
best
keep
to
going.
donate. And if you need
The fact
more
that it didn't
options,
kill
please
you
feel free
means
to
it wasn't
email
strong
me
enough
at
to.
dariusdotch
Means it made you
@gmail.com.
stronger.
That's
And you know it made you stronger.
DARIUS
I don't even have to tell you that. But the reality of it is, and this may be you, maybe somebody you know,
let's get back to
but there are some people today that are in a bad mood for something that happened to them over 10 years ago. There are people in a bad mood today over something that happened to them 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Come on now. That's like a kid pouting because he didn't get to eat dessert, and they sit and sulk with their arms folded for 10 minutes. Instead of knowing that there's going to be plenty of more desserts in your life. Instead of just going outside and play, instead of enjoying this responsibility-free life they have, they let mama or daddy telling them that they can't have dessert ruin their day. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but at the same time, I'm trying to show you how ridiculous that is. How ridiculous it is to be in a bad mood for something that happened to them 5 years ago. That's crazy. But check this. You want to know what's even crazier? It's not what happened to them that has them in a bad mood. It's not the actual thing that happened. It's how they feel about it. It's not what happened. It's how they feel about it. For example, if somebody you love cheated on you, yes, that hurts. Been there my damn self. And you're allowed to feel that pain, but that still shouldn't be affecting you years and years down the road. Why? Because you've literally recovered from it physically. You still have food on your table. Your life still went on. Your job, your career, your family, your friends. You still have a car. Them cheating on you didn't make you lose an eye. You still have all your limbs. You're fine. You get where I'm going with this? The act of them cheating on you literally isn't holding you back. You're free to live a life however you want to live your life. But the way them cheating on you made you feel is still causing you to be bitter and hurt and upset at them today, even though it was years ago. And don't feel bad. I'm definitely guilty of this one too. When I tell you I had resentment towards the girl who cheated on me and broke my heart for years, I even put it in a song I wrote. And it wasn't until somebody asked me who she was that I realized, like, yeah, that was over 10 years ago, 10 years later, and I was still holding on to it. And people like me, like you, like some of you listening, they carry things around for them for way too long. And I really think you should listen to another episode that talks about forgiveness. It's called Time to Forgive Them. And in this episode, I talk about forgiving people and how that forgiveness is for you and not them. When you forgive somebody, it's to release all that anger and resentment to be able to live your life, not because it's okay that they did what they did to you. So I'll end this episode by saying this. Holding on to that anger and resentment and guilt over things that happened in the past is like holding on to a hot potato in your hand, waiting to throw it at the person or that thing that hurt you and never actually being able to throw it. It doesn't do any good and it never will. You're just carrying it around. You got to look down at your hand and say, why in the hell am I holding on to this hot potato? It's hurting way too much. And just drop it. You're free to release it at any time. Don't carry the potato. I should get that put on the shirt. Don't carry the potato. It hurts. It literally hurts. And it's not hurting anybody but yourself. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this episode, please share it with somebody that can benefit from this, somebody who is a friend or a family member, somebody who has goals and is trying to improve their lives. So thank you again, and let's get it in.